So hey guys, welcome to NITCP. This is Akshat Kumar Verma, and today we'll be discussing problem B, which is Hemos shopping, which came in the code forces round 746, division 2. Okay, so Hemos was shopping with his friend, so this is not a very useful statement till you can read it. So here's where the question starts. So Hemos has an array of n integers. He wants Samus to sort the array in non-decreasing order. Since it would be too easy problem for Samus, Hemos allows Samus to use only the following operation. So he can choose two indexes I and j such that I and j are basically valid indexes and the absolute difference between both of them are greater than or equal to x. Then only swap elements ai and aj if these conditions hold. So can you tell Samuel if there is a way to sort the array in the non-decreasing order by using the operation written above in some finite number of times, possibly 0? Now what do we mean by possibly 0? So if the array is already like sorted in non-decreasing order, we don't need to do any operation in it, okay? We'll get the input while coding. For output, what we need to do is just print yes or no. Yes if we can sort the array in non-decreasing order, and no if we can't. Okay, so let us understand the question a little better. So basically, we are given an array, right? This is the array, some more elements there, and this is the ending element. So let's say here it is index I, here it is index j, and one request from my side: don't just ignore the handwriting. I'm writing over my mouse, okay? So if this is the index I, this is index j, and we can then swap ai and aj only if the absolute difference between I and j, this is for writing absolute difference, is greater than or equal to x. Okay, so pretty easy question, okay? Pretty easy problem statement. Now let us write the base case first. What's the base case? That if the array is already sorted, right? If the array is already sorted. So if the array is already sorted, we don't need to do anything. We could just output yes and continue on with our next test case. Okay, so this is done. And now for the first case, let us do some observation in this one. Okay, for example, we are given an array. Okay, this is our array. Let me swipe down a bit. We will add some more elements to it. These are the elements of the array. Okay, now let us choose a random index I, right? Okay, here is the random index we chose. So for a moment, let us consider that the elements in this part, the right part of I, are less than x, right? That x exceeds the bound of the element present. And same is the case with the left side of it, okay? The number of elements are less than x and less than x. So can we even move this element? Can you think of a way to move this element? So no, there is no way we could move this element. So even if we choose the last index as j, we can't swap ai and aj, okay? Because the difference between them is less than x. Similarly, the same goes with the left part. Okay, so what we calculated from here is that this I index is what is stagnant, right? We can't really move this one. So if we could find a way that no element in this array would be stagnant, right? For example, no index would be stagnant like this one. Then we could make the array as we want in the non-decreasing order, decreasing order. We can make it as we want if and only if none of the elements in this array are stagnant. So what's the way to like clearly know if there's no element in an array that is stagnant? So for this, you will consider the middle element, which will be the most optimal one to choose the middle element. Why would be most optimal? We'll talk about it. Okay, let us consider this is the middle element. Okay, this is the middle element. There are some elements before it, some elements after it, and this is our n by 2th element. Okay, if this is odd, you can just add one to it. Now, if we ensure that this n by 2 elements has exactly x elements or greater than x elements on this side, and similar goes with the part on left side, if we will ensure that the elements present in this side are actually greater than or equal to x. So we can tell that, okay, now we can move any element. Now, how did we ensure that? So if an element is present, let's say here, okay, and we know that x elements are present here. So we can swap this one with this one for sure, because we are sure that at least x elements are present in between. Similar goes with if any element is present here, we can surely swap it with this one. So this leads us to our first conclusion that if the number of element, that is the given number 2 into x, right? Like this one and this one. X is greater than n by 2, which will give us x, 2x is less than or equal to n. This would be our first condition, which I also mentioned in the code. We will come to the code again. N is greater than or equal to 2 into x. So if n is greater than or equal to 2 into x, what we can conclude is that yes, we can make it in non-decreasing order because none of the elements in this area are stagnant. We can move each one of them and we can sort them in our way. So now let us come to a second condition where this one does not hold. Okay, so 2 into x in this case would be just simply greater than n. So let us try to draw a diagram for it, like make an array for it. Okay, so clearly here x is less than n by 2. Okay, so there would be some elements present. For example, let's consider this is the middle element for some time, and this would be the value of x, right? Which would be less than n by 2, and similar goes for here. It would be equal. Just ignore if there's not equal right now. Okay, these are x elements. These are x elements. Now it is clear that these three elements are immobile or stagnant. Okay, these three elements are just stagnant. We'll just write a stagnant. Okay, we can't move these elements. But what about these ones? We can actually swap any element here with any element on this side because the difference between them would be surely greater than x, right? So it is clear that we could move these elements and these elements. So I need you to make one more observation that if these elements are already sorted, right, the stagnant ones, then also we could just output yes. Why we could output yes? Because if even if these elements are not sorted, the x from the starting and x from the ending, then we could just swap it and arrange it as we want. But if they're present here and they are sorted, so we can just make the whole array sorted. So we'll output yes only if these stagnant elements are sorted, like they are already sorted. We know that. And if these are not sorted, okay, if these are not sorted, then what we will do? We just simply output no. This is the whole question that if these elements are not sorted, we can't do anything about it. Okay, these will be stagnant. We just can't swap them. And if the element here present here, like these elements are already sorted, then we will output yes, or else we will output no. So these are the three cases that we have to check. First is the base condition that if the array is already sorted, then we will just output simply yes. Okay, then we come to the next condition that if 2 into x is less than or equal to n, then again we will output yes because all the elements present here are mobile, they are not stagnant. So we can move any of them and arrange them as we want. Now we come to the third and the fourth case. So what are the third and the fourth cases? Basically that if the stagnant elements that we found out in our array are actually sorted or already sorted in their correct position, they're already in the correct position, then we can output yes because we can then change other ones into being sorted. And if they are not sorted, then we'll output no because we just can't do anything about it. So let's get into the code. I will show you the code that I submitted. Okay, it's not the most optimized one. We'll talk about the more optimized one after we see this one. Okay, so here's what we did. So in the input, it was given that first we have to take the number of test cases, then we have to take in the n and x values, and then we have to take in the array I. Okay, clearly. Okay, so I made an different array temp n. So what I do with temp n is I see you can see that later I sort the temporary array just to check this condition that my middle elements are sorted or not. I make one another array and copy all the elements of the original array into the new array, that temporary array that I made in the same loop to decrease the time complexity basically. And also here I've added a condition. I've made an array previous equals to int min, and I have also made a bool variable which is initially set to true. Now if anything arrives here that the element that we just taken input of is actually less than the previous one that we took input of, then we will set the set ascending to false. Now, if the ascending is still set to true, then we will see out yes and continue with our next test case. That is that this whole part will not execute. We will again come to here with the next test case. Now, ignore the variable name. I couldn't come up with a better variable name in the time of computation. So this is the main loop that does all the work. This basically goes from zeroth element to nth element and check what is basically checks is see. This is the current index of it I plus 1 because in the question we were given 1 based indexing, not 0 based indexing. But in the array implementation, we have to use 0 based indexing. So I have added 1 plus x if this is greater than n. So what this basically means is it's the same implementation, just a little bit tweaking in it. Okay, so what we check is that if the number of elements here, like if we add x, so this does not exceed n, right? This will not exceed n, so we can swap it with here. It will not become immobile. And similarly, I plus 1 minus x. So this is basically checking for the left half. This is also less than equal to x. Cool. So if these both conditions hold, and if array I is not equal to temporary I, and what we stored in the temporary array, we stored the sorted values. So if these both are not equal, these both conditions hold, then we will set this check variable to false and break here. Now, after why did we set it to false? Because even if there is one single element which is not in its correct position, right, and it is also stagnant and it is not in its sorted position, then what we need to put is no, right? Even if there is one element. So we will just break here and see out no, or else we will see out yes. So this was the whole question. Now I will talk about some better how can you make it a bit more optimized. So one thing you can do is like put this statement after this one. So if the array is already sorted, we don't need to call this sort statement. Okay. And here I am traversing the whole array. So you don't really need to traverse the whole array. You could just start from here. That is the x index, right? Because it is zero based indexing. And you can end with, you can calculate this. This will come out to be n minus 1 minus x, right? These elements would be x. So if all the elements in this range are in the correct position, we need to check the same thing, but not for the whole array, just for this array in between. So this is simple optimization you could make. It won't optimize the code much. The code would still be big O of n time, but we should always discuss this type of thing. So this was the code that got accepted. I hope you got all the concepts. If you have any doubts, you can either ask in our WhatsApp group or you can comment down in the comment section. Thank you so much.